And while you're jumping from one foot to the next, what is he doing? He's laughing his sick fucking ass off. He's a tight ass. He's a sadist. He's an absentee landlord. Worship that? Never.
What you are about to hear is part of the Podgods Network. If you have a problem with anything you hear, please write it in an email and go fuck yourself. Enjoy the show!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Atheist Agenda today. I think this is, number 7 or 8 or 12 or 4 or something like that. Anyway, welcome, everybody. We are going to be discussing today about marriage, the origins, why you women go fucking flat out ape shit, fat, crazy, and shit like that. We're going to discuss all of that crap. I do have a special guest. Well, not really a special guest. I had somebody come over and give me their thoughts that I recorded, kind of compacted a little bit, and I thought it was hilarious. So we'll have her on a little later, and that's Mary. Her name is Mary Abrams, and she's got an interesting take on marriage, which I think a lot of people will either agree or disagree with. I personally fucking agree with it, but that's up to you guys. I guess one of the main things is we're here to say that, where did marriage come from? Why is there marriage? I think a lot of people get married and have no fucking clue where it comes from. I know that Christians get on a rant talking about it's a religious ceremony, and it's just fucking not. And it predates Christianity by quite a long time. And, or any kind of religion for quite a long time. So, we're going to get into that today. Today is November 15th, 2013. Tomorrow is my birthday, and I expect a lot of calls, and I expect a lot of great cards, and I expect a lot of people to tell me how much they absolutely fucking love my show, which is, what I expect, and if not, then go fuck yourselves. That's the way that I look at it. Turning the big 43 tomorrow. Well, now, sorry, shit. Then it just, is it the 14th or the, see, it's exactly, no, see, it's the 15th. So, it just turned the 15th, so tomorrow is the 16th. So, okay, I got 2 more days, which means I can get more cards. I can get more shit. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Anyway, please feel free. Give us a, we still haven't arranged any type of phone system here yet, but, feel free to try to call. I mean, I don't have a number for you, but give it a shot, But feel free. You can also write me at or email me rather at the Atheist Agenda at hushmail.com. HUSHMAIL. Hushmail. The Atheist Agenda at hushmail.com. Email me with your question and comments, and if I don't like them, that's fine. I'll read them on the air. I've got a bunch of letters, as a matter of fact. I'm not going to get into it today. I'm going to make an entire show, because I got something like, 40 or 50 letters, ranging from love to absolute hate, and wish we can find out where the fuck you are so we can blow your house up. So, well, we'll answer those and try to piss them off even more. And then to all that gave me beautiful little things, thank you so much, and I love you, too. So, I'm going to get into some of the origins of marriage and things like that, and where it came from, and why people, I think, go batshit crazy over it. And we'll see what you guys think. The origins of marriage, I don't know. I think the institution of marriage is now the subject of bitter national debate. How did marriage begin and why? And if you're planning to get married, you should probably know this, because it's not as fucking special as you think it is. Or, I don't know, it depends on your point of view. It may be as special as you think it is. I don't know. So I think the main question is how old is the institution? And, doing research and looking at scholars and things like that, the best available evidence suggests it's about 4,350 years old, which predates Christianity. Thank you. I'm done. Nah, never. For thousands of years before that, most anthropologists, I think, believe families consisted of loosely organized groups, as many as 30 people, with several male leaders, multiple women shared by all of them, and children. As hunter-gatherers settled down into agrarian civilizations, I think society had a need for more stable arrangements. The first recorded evidence of marriage ceremonies, uniting one man and one woman, dates from about 2350 BC. That is before Christ. And it was in Mesopotamia. Over the next several hundred years, marriage evolved into a widespread institution embraced by ancient Hebrews, Greeks, and Romans. But, back then, marriage had little to do with love or religion. I mean, practically fucking nothing. So you might be wanting to ask, well, now that you said that, what was it about? Well, it's funny you should ask. Marriage's primary purpose was to bind men to women, or women to men, rather, and thus guarantee that a man's children were truly his biological heirs, because we started accumulating shit, other than, grain and animals and crap. Through marriage, a woman becomes a man's property. That's exactly how it started out. In the betrothal ceremony of ancient Greece, a father would hand over his daughter with these words, and I quote, "I pledge my daughter for the purpose of producing legitimate offspring." Among the ancient Hebrews, men were free to take several wives. Married Greeks and Romans were free to testify their sexual urges with concubines, prostitutes, and even teenage male lovers. Go Greeks! While their wives were required to stay home and tend to the household. And if wives failed to produce any offspring, their husbands could give them back and marry somebody else. That's fucking convenient. I like it. Do you guys like it? I love it. That's a slam dunk. When did religion become involved? I mean, when did religion start saying, you know what, we're just going to take this shit over? And, well, as the Roman Catholic Church became a powerful institution in Europe, the blessings of a priest became a necessary step of marriage to be legally recognized. By the 8th century, marriage was widely accepted in a Catholic Church as a sacrament or a ceremony to bestow God's grace. At the Council of Trent in 1563, the sacramental nature of marriage was written into canon law. Did that go back that far? Now you might want to be asking, did this change the nature of marriage? It's funny that you asked that because I have the answer for you. Church blessings did provide a lot of wives. Men were taught to show great respect for their wives and forbidden from divorcing them. Christian doctrine declared that the twain shall be one flesh, giving husband and wife exclusive access to each other's body. This put new pressure on men, like it always fucking does. It hasn't ever fucking changed. This put new pressure on men to remain sexually faithful. But the church still held that men were the head of the families and their wives deferring to their wishes. Now, you might want to say, well, if it's more of an arrangement than anything really, when did love enter the picture? With no arrangement, you meet somebody, you fall in love, you get married. You might be wanting to ask me that question. It's funny you ask that question because I have the answer. And it came in later than you think. For much of human history, couples were brought together for practical reasons, not because they fell in love. In time, of course, many marriage partners came to feel a deep mutual love and devotion. But the idea of romantic love, as a motivating force for marriage, only goes as far back as, like the Middle Ages, really. Naturally, many scholars believe the concept was invented by the French. Because we all about the love. That's why. Its model, however, was the knight who fell in intense love for someone else's wife, as in the case of Sir Lancelot and King Arthur's wife. Queen Guinevere, during this 12th century advice, literature told men to woo the object of their desire by praising her eyes, hair, lips. However, in the 13th century, Richard de Fournival, physician to the King of France, wrote Advice on Love, in which he suggested that a woman cast her love flirtatious glances, anything but a frank and open entreaty. Now, you might be wanting to ask yourself, did love change marriage? Well, it's funny you ask, because I have the answer. Fuck no. It sure did, actually. Marilyn Yeomans, a Stanford historian and author of A History of the Wife, credits the concept of romantic love with giving women greater leverage in what had been a largely pragmatic transaction. Wives no longer existed solely to serve men. The romantic prince, in fact, sought to serve the woman he loved. Still, the notion that the husband owned the wife continued to hold sway for centuries, really. When colonists first came to America, at a time when polygamy was still accepted in most parts of the world, the husband's dominance was officially recognized under a legal doctrine called coverture, under which the new bride identity was absorbed into his. The bride gave up her name to symbolize the surrendering of her identity, and the husband suddenly became more important as the official public representative of two people, not just one. The rules were so strict that any American woman who married a foreigner immediately lost her citizenship. So what you thinking about marriage now? Huh? According to the way it originally came up, whenever you get married and you women want to change your name, you are giving up your identity. That's at least what the historians say. Well, now you'd be wondering, maybe, how did the tradition change? Well, it's really funny that you ask that, because I have the answer for that one, too. Women won the right to vote. When that happened in 1920, the institution of marriage began a dramatic transformation. Not so long ago. Suddenly, each union consisted of two full citizens. Although tradition dictated that the husband still ruled the home, by the late 1960s, state laws forbidding interracial marriage had been thrown out, and the last states had dropped laws against the use of birth control. By the 1970s, this is about when I was born, the law finally recognized the concept of marital rape, which up to that point was inconceivable. I mean, the husband, whenever he wanted some puss, he just took that shit. And there's nothing you do about it. And the reason is because it was assumed that the husband owned his wife's sexuality. That was written in the law. The idea that a marriage is a private relationship for the fulfillment of two individuals, not just one, is really, really very new. Historian Stephanie Kuntz, the author of The Way We Never Were, American Families in the Nostalgia Trap, within the past 40 years, marriage has changed more than in the last 5,000. Now, it's really changing, but you won't believe this. And if you didn't know, everybody getting ready to do a report out there in college land, if you listen to me, this is going to put new light, I think, on the gay marriage thing. I have no problem with gay marriage. And it seems that no one had a problem with gay marriage till recently, really. However, gay marriage is rare in history, but not unknown. The Roman Emperor Nero, who ruled from AD 54 to 68, twice married men in formal wedding ceremonies and forced the imperial court to treat them as his wives. See, now you need to bring that shit up whenever you're trying to get marriage equality. In 2nd and 3rd century Rome, homeless